What's up, guys? Luke back again with another Gaming Week in Review podcast, where we talk about the things that have interested us in the world of video games each and every week. Before we get started, make sure you smash like. It helps us out a ton. But with that being said, let's get right into it. So the first thing that I wanted to just kind of mention to everyone that's been watching these podcasts and has been enjoying them, I do other content, and one of the things that we do is the Unbox Adventures series, and I just kind of wanted to kind of capture this audience. If you guys don't watch our other videos, you just catch the podcast. I just encourage you to dig inside of our channel. We do have a playlist with all of our Unbox Adventures, and in these videos, basically to kind of summarize what these videos are about, think AVGN, but with unboxings of like current gen stuff and then retro when we can. So very skit based, very like humorous and funny. We kind of let it all hang out, and I think they're very enjoyable, and I think you guys would too. So speaking of those Unbox Adventures videos, we do have one currently up. When you guys are watching this, it will be up. It's the Tony Hawk Pro Skater Remake 1 and 2 Collector's Edition unbox video. It's really funny. It's really fun. We had a ton of fun putting it together. So go ahead and check it out. We'll put a link in the, I'm not going to put it in the cards because I want you to hang out with me, but I'll put it in the description and at the end of this video so you can just go straight over to the unbox video after you watch this. So that's going to do it for kind of the, I guess, the shameless promotion, shameless plug, but hey, it's my channel, so I get to do it. First thing I want to talk about today, guys, is the PlayStation 5 side panels. We have been kind of rumored to be able to be swapped out, and possibly in the future. We've kind of been crossing our fingers. There's not been anything officially announced, but we've been kind of crossing our fingers that Sony would kind of like take advantage of these side panels being able to be released without voiding warranties and be able to be released relatively easy. They would take advantage of that for these limited edition sort of like sets, and the way it's set up currently is a big first party IP comes out. They usually release a collector's edition, and they usually release a limited edition system that correlates with or is themed after this new game, and it kind of helps promote it. It gives collectors just another thing to spend a bunch of money on, and it sucks. It's a pain in the butt. They usually sell out very, very quickly, and you have to shell out, $400 sometimes, maybe even $5 or $6 to get this limited edition console that correlates with a game that you love. But with having side panels, it kind of opens up doors to make more cost-effective limited edition sets where you're not selling a whole new console, but you're basically giving the consumer and the ability to kind of trick out their console with a theme that is correlated with the game. So I think it's a great idea. I think that Sony will do it. Who knows? These companies tend to surprise us a lot. So we'll have to see. Fingers crossed. But in the meantime, there's a new website that actually just kind of got made, just went live. The domain is relatively new. Their Twitter account is about a month old, and they are promoting custom side plates for the PlayStation 5. And the name of the website is PlateStation 5. So kind of a fun play on words, PlateStation5.com. And so Sony, they're going to be offering custom side plates for the PS5. So there is 5 different color options. So the colors that we're going to have to choose from are going to be cherry, chromatic, indigo blue, jungle camo, and a limited edition matte black. And these are going to be going for about $39.99. They are on pre-order right now, which is kind of funny because we don't actually know, like the PS5 hasn't been released to consumers. I know that it's been popping up online that like a few people have been able to pick up these systems early. The big one was the Series X. There was actually an unboxing put on YouTube of someone that somehow was able to get a Series X console and unbox it on their YouTube channel, which is probably highly illegal. And that video has been taken down. For the most part, people haven't been able to get these consoles in their hands yet. So the fact that they're pre-ordering these side panels, and we don't even know for sure that they have a mold. We don't know. There's no like confirmed information on this. This one's a little bit shaky, but I do like the idea of being able to have custom side panels, especially like the black color looks really, really nice. And the blue, the indigo blue, are both kind of my chosen favorites for colors for the PlayStation 5. But I think a lot of people are going to jump on that limited edition matte black because it kind of just goes more with what Sony typically provides. Is usually their consoles are very black and they have the blue LED light and, you know, maybe a little green and red mixed in there too. Standby is usually red, and green is usually the reset color. So I think it's really cool. I'm excited to see more, but if you're planning on getting one of these, I would just say approach with caution. Who knows what Sony's going to do about it. I don't think they're going to go after them. Maybe if they're planning on releasing some first party ones, maybe they don't really want third parties kind of, dabbling in that. But Sony's not quite as petty as Nintendo has been lately when it comes to like third party kind of like products and things like that. So I don't think there's going to be much of an issue, but I would approach with caution. When you purchase something like this, I would just be ready to, pray for the best and prepare for the worst. It could turn out great. You could get your side panels. They could work awesome. They could be good quality, or it could turn out horrible. You lose your money. You never receive your side panels in the mail, or possibly you receive them and they're really low quality, or they don't fit right without modification. So it could be one of two ways that this whole thing can go, but still really exciting. And I wanted to let you guys know. Limited run. We got some limited run news today, or this week, just like every other week. And the first thing I want to talk about, of course, is our last chance games. This week, our last chance is for the Doom 64 collection. I've actually gone over this already in previous podcasts. We'll throw something up in the card so you can go and check that out if you want to hear a little bit more in depth on the Doom 64 collection. But there's a PS4 version and a Switch version. They both have a collector's and a standard version, or maybe not so much collector's, but more of a classic version that's like set up like a Nintendo 64 cart or Nintendo 64 game box with a bunch of goodies inside, and it's super cool, a metal cart and the whole 9 yards. And then as far as this collection goes, our last chance to pick it up is going to be October 25th. So that's this Sunday. New this week, we have a couple new ones. One that we actually talked about last week, which is Mummy Demastered, which I'm really, really excited for. This one, just to kind of rehash, this one has a standard and collector's edition. We'll have a PS4 and Switch edition. The collector's edition includes the game in a classic SNES-style box, soundtrack on CD, and a commemorative Super Nintendo cartridge that looks very nice. Once again, if you want more information on the Mummy Demastered collector's edition, check out the link in the cards for a second time, and you can go over there and learn more about it. Also, this is going to be a 4-week pre-order, so it's not something you need to be, crazy insane about, waking up early and like having everything set up. We'll have a soundtrack on vinyl, which is going to be sold separately. The collector's is going to be $54.99, and we actually didn't have a retail price for the standard, and I didn't get one this week as well. So sorry about that, but we will definitely have links to Limited Run down in the description, so you can go and check it out for yourself. And then lastly, I just want to add in that this is a WayForward game, same company that made Shantae. Also coming this week is Demon's Tier Plus. This one I had a little bit of time to kind of do some research before the video and check out. I had never heard of this prior to it, but this one looks pretty cool. It's a dungeon RPG roguelike. It's multiplayer. You can play up to, I believe, up to 4 players, for sure 2, I could see in the trailer. And the music and sound design is wonderful. It reminds me a lot of the Super Nintendo. The graphics, not so much. The graphics are more along the lines, in my opinion, almost like a 12-bit, like in between 8-bit and 16-bit as far as graphics go. But the sound, it like almost feels like the sound effects and the music are coming straight out of Super Nintendo hardware. So if you're a big fan of the Super Nintendo, like I am from the past, that's my second favorite Nintendo console ever made. Definitely check it out. It might be for you, it might not be for you, but I think it looks pretty amazing, and I'm pretty excited for this one. And as far as next week goes, we have a big one. Monkey Island Anthology for PC. This thing is probably the most amount of goodies that I've seen in a collector's edition that's been produced from Limited Run. And this one is I think an incredible value too. So the anthology comes with 5 games. So the from the original Monkey's Island release all the way up to the 2009 release. So 5 different games in leather sleeves. Like, at least they look leather. It doesn't say for sure in the listing that they're leather, but Limited Run is going to let us know more as the release date comes, and the release date is soon. We'll get into that here in a second. So it has 5 games. They're all in leather sleeves. Looks beautiful. They're textured, very, very nice. Comes with a certificate of authenticity signed by Ron Gilbert. And bear with me, guys, as I go through this, because I'm not like really well versed in Monkey Island. So just bear with me. But if you don't know who Ron Gilbert is, I did some research, Googled it, and he's actually was a designer and programmer for Maniac Mansion back in the day. If you guys remember the Maniac Mansion game for, I believe, PC, and it was also ported onto the NES. And the first 2 Monkey Island games. So kind of a big name when it comes to like kind of coinciding with the early days of Monkey Island. Ron Gilbert signs it. Hopefully it's handwritten, which would be amazing, but we'll have to see as it goes along. Also on the certificate, I did want to just kind of point out that it will have the number of the copy that you got. So you maybe get 1, and you maybe get whatever other number it is, but hopefully this one is a limited run release, just kind of in the original sense of the way that Limited Run works. And I feel funny saying that, but it's kind of fun to have those certain collector's editions where you're like really excited and you want to get it. And it is a bummer that not everyone's gonna have a chance to get their hands on stuff like that. But there's also like a lot of other ones that are just pre-orders nowadays with Limited Run. So it's cool that they kind of mix those in once in a while, and I'm kind of like, I'm okay either way, but I'd be kind of excited to like wake up really early and like get everything set up in my checkout and like possibly get it. Possibly not, but just kind of the thrill, the excitement of, you know, being ready and waiting for that, you know, that initial release of the collector's edition, because I believe this thing, if it's limited, is going to go fast. Okay, so moving on. Big Whoop also comes with a Big Whoop amusement park e-ticket. So if you're into Monkey Island, you probably know more about that than me. It comes with a multi-layered shadow box, and this was really cool. It comes with this really nice looking shadow box with Guy Bush on it, and it is somewhere in, you know, the Monkey Island universe. It looks like from one of the early games, and that looks really nice too. And then moving on to the statue, it comes with a 6-inch statue of Guybrush. Guybrush is his name. And it's a beautiful looking statue. It's a 3D rendered version of him, so it's all smooth and nice, and very vibrant and colorful. 6 inches tall is pretty good size little statue as well, so that'll be great looking on your shelf, or, you know, up on your mantle, or wherever you decide to put it, next to your game collection, things like that. So that's really exciting as well. Also comes with a floppy disk, and it's floppy disk 22. Once again, I'm not sure what that means, but I'm sure it's correlated with the game. I'm excited to find out if this floppy disk is usable, if it's actual media on the floppy disk. If so, I might need to look into, like, somehow getting a floppy disk, or maybe converting a floppy disk to be used with, like, current computers with an adapter or something like that. I would love to see what the heck is on the floppy disk. So we're still yet to find out this information, and I'm sure it'll come out in the coming days or weeks leading up to release. Also, it comes with the Ultimate Insult 8x10 poster. I'm sure another game reference. Guybrush Evolution enamel pin set, which is really cool. So it has basically Guybrush's face on all 5, like from all 5 games, in enamel pin form, which is really fun, especially for you guys that like to collect enamel pins. And, you know, I know a lot of you do, so that's really cool as well. And then we also have the a USB drive with all 5 games on the USB drive. And I just want to stop on this for a second and just kind of thank Limited Run Golf Clap. They did the PC physical release right. They gave you the discs, yes, and I'm pretty sure they're giving you the discs. It's not confirmed, but there was 5 games in a little case. You know, they're all sleeved. I'm assuming the discs are going to be in there, and they gave you a USB drive. So a lot of current PC gamers, if you're a PC gamer, you probably agree, don't have disk drives in their, like, they don't put disk drives in the rigs anymore. They take up too much space. Most of the games they're going to be playing are going to be on Steam. So it's more of a industrial sort of computer thing to have a disk drive. So the fact that they're giving you the discs, which is awesome, and they're giving you digital copies on a USB drive, so it doesn't have to be connected or interlaced or tied down with Steam. They're doing it right. This is 100% how I would do a physical release for a PC game in 2020. So moving on, it also comes with a behind the scenes and anniversary book art, art book. Sorry, my dyslexia going off there. So behind the scenes anniversary art book, and then so I'm sure that's going to be big and beautiful and multiple pages and stuff like that, just kind of celebrating Monkey Island. So I did do a little bit of research on Monkey Island. I'm sure a lot of you guys know these are mostly point and click adventure games. So if you're not sure what Monkey Island is, but you like games like Maniac Mansion or Thimbleweed Park, I think you would really enjoy the Monkey Island games. They have a certain charm to them, just kind of going through and just watching brief little videos on each game, and just kind of hopefully learning a little bit so I can share that stuff with you guys and kind of get you excited about these games like I've actually become excited just doing the research. These games are, like I said, mostly point and click. They're also very much like puzzle sort of games. There's a lot of puzzle solving involved. And the biggest thing I think with these games that kind of sets them apart from other games is their humor. A lot like Thimbleweed Park, these games have a lot of humor inside of the dialogue, and it's just kind of a fun thing to watch and to read and to enjoy as you progress through the game because the dialogue is funny and captivating. So, and then also I noticed that it's not afraid to break the fourth wall. For example, in the second game, there's a cutscene where basically everything goes red except for the character, and he like basically says like, don't touch the color settings on your TV set. So just little things like that I think are just like fun, you know, subtly breaking the fourth wall and just kind of, you know, just being goofy and fun and not taking themselves too seriously. And then lastly, it does have this kind of like a comic book art style. So if you like that in games, you're definitely gonna get it here. These are very cartoon like, maybe not comic book as much as they're very cartoon like in their presentation. So that's all the stuff that comes with this thing. It is hefty as far as what's included, and not gonna lie, the price is a little hefty, but for what you're getting, all 5 games on disc and digital form, certificate of authenticity, a enamel pin set, 6-inch statue, and you know, all the other things and much more that comes with it, I think it's worth it. They're asking $159.99 on this guy, and it's going to be releasing on October 30th. So that's a little over a week from the time of this recording. So hopefully, if you guys are interested in that, that'll give you ample amount of time to get that money saved up and be ready for it when it does release. Because like I said, I think this one may be a true to form limited run. So we're going to need to be money ready and checkout ready and all that good stuff the day that this thing comes out. Moving on to other news, we have a we have a Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light Anniversary Edition coming out for the Nintendo Switch. And Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light is actually the first Fire Emblem game that up until now was a Japan-only release. So the only way you were able to play it if you're in the United States is by getting that Japan cart and patching it with a fan-made translation, which I'm sure are abundant on romhacking.net, but you know, there was never anything official until now. So there's been localization has taken place. This is going to be a digital and physical release, which is really exciting. And to avoid confusion, this isn't through limited run, because I'm sure that could actually get pretty confusing right there. This is not through limited run. This is directly through retailers, you know, GameStop, Best Buy, Walmart, stuff like that. Typical way that you go out and buy games. So we just actually ended limited run news just then. So with that being said, 30th anniversary, it's the original Fire Emblem being basically optimized for the Nintendo Switch. It has full localization of English text, yay. And they added a few new features, and I took the time to write those down. There's a rewind feature, so if you want to go back turns, you can actually now, in the middle of Fire Emblem match, you can actually go back turns. And if you're not familiar with the Fire Emblem games, these are tactical RPGs, so it's almost like a chess match. To kind of explain it even more, it's like a chess match. You have different characters and you move them a certain amount of spaces within their limitation, and then you have the opportunity to attack or defend. So it's very, very strategy, and I like tactical RPGs, but I'm not like the biggest of tactical RPG fan, but that's kind of how I explain it. And so if you made a move and you're like finding out, oh man, that was a bad move, you can now rewind, which is kind of just cheating. But I guess, there's, I mean, it's up to you. You don't have to use it, but it's there. Also, they did add a fast forward through player and enemy animations feature. So I think this is nice because a lot of like NES games, like NES RPGs, there was a lot of like sections where there was text and you just had to mash A to get through it. Like, for example, just kind of the animation of your character attacking is kind of not that impressive to today's standards, so you may just want to fast forward through that. You may just not want to see that, or maybe you don't want to see your enemy attacking you, but you're okay with seeing your animations. You have the option now to fast forward through the actual actions of the game, maybe not the text, but you can fast through the actions of your battle. So that's going to condense down the time in the game, and it's going to let you kind of like just circumvent through the the little things, cut a little bit of the fat, so you're not having to play this game for hours on end to get it done. So, and then lastly, you do have the option to create and load bookmarks in this one too. So, for example, if you're in the middle of a match, which I'm sure can go as long as 30 minutes, maybe even longer in some cases, you can bookmark it right where you stand, save it, and turn off your Switch and go and do stuff, which is very good. And I think it's very awesome, especially for the Switch, because you may want to play some Fire Emblem, but you're, waiting for your doctor's appointment, something like that, and you don't want to like have your system just stay on. You just want to turn it off. You can bookmark it, save it right in the middle of the match, and come right back to it when you are done with your appointment, or the next time you get a chance to play the game. So being that the Switch is a portable console, I love it when development teams add stuff like this, because it just makes it more and more convenient and more fine-tuned for what the Nintendo Switch is, a portable hybrid console. And lastly, it does come with a physical release, which is pretty cool. Replica game art pack. So what's included with the physical release is a replica game art game pack art. Replica game pack art, a game sleeve, and a digital download code for the game. And yes, it is a digital code and not a physical Switch game, but you kind of have to understand this game is a Famicom game. It's for people that don't know what that is, it's an original Nintendo game. These games are teeny tiny. So for them to put that game on a cart, it would be very uncost effective, especially when considering that the digital copy of this game is only a little bit over $5. It would just be a little silly for them to put this on a Switch cart. So this one time, I give them a pass, man. I give them a pass, especially for the cost of it, and we'll get to that here in just a second. It does also come with a replica game box that looks exactly like the original, or a lot like the original release. Like I said before, this was a Famicom only release, so the box art may be more tuned to the US, but it has that original Nintendo logo on it, which is missing from a lot of these remakes. We just had the Shantae Game Boy color release be re-released, but obviously because of copyright, they couldn't write Game Boy Color on the box, so it had to say limited run, and they got creative and it was beautiful. But it's always fun when Nintendo does stuff like this because they can put their logo on it and make it look as original as possible with a remake. So that's just really fun too. So full color, all that stuff, and then full color instruction booklet and map that probably came with the original game is coming with this one as well. And it does come with a couple more things. The deluxe, it's a deluxe art book. Looks like a pretty big size hardback art book that you can kind of flip through and enjoy some original art from the original game, which is really fun. And then a mini Nintendo Power collectible is what they're saying of it. It almost looks like a poster, just like a cover of a Nintendo Power poster, but maybe there's a little something more than what meets the eye with it. But they're calling it a mini Nintendo Power collectible. And that's going to be it for the physical release. As far as pricing goes, just like I said earlier, digital release is going to be $5.99, and the physical release is going to be $49.99. Really not too bad. I think they had an opportunity to really gouge people with this physical release, but let's just hope that they have enough a quantity to meet demand. Knowing Nintendo, that's usually not the case, but $49.99 for a physical release and comes with some cool goodies, I think is great. I think that's a great price point. And then lastly, just while we're on the subject of the digital code being included in this physical release, it just begs the question, is this the future of physical copies for new consoles? I'm, of course, in the physical only camp. I am the type of person that just likes physical media. I have said many, many times on the podcast that I usually almost always get buyer's remorse when I purchase games digitally, especially full price games like AAA stuff. There's been a few times that I've done that, and I've always been like, why did I do that? What a waste of money, because you don't get the physical tangible product, and you didn't save money. You paid the same amount that you could have to get the physical one. That sucks, so I'm very much so in that camp, and I want to see future generations of consoles have disk drive, have at least some way to play physical media. I'm not gonna compromise there. Like I always want to see that. But in a world that's not in, Luke's La La Land, I think that, this may be kind of a glimpse as to what physical media and physical copies of games may look like in the future. And although I do want physical games to plug into consoles, if this was what it looked like, I think there's enough value here to be like, well, just like I said earlier, well, maybe it's okay, like you got a cool glass, replica of the game in NES form. That's cool, original Nintendo form. They didn't used to do that. Like, they didn't used to pay this much homage to their retro or older consoles. Like, that's cool that they're doing that. That's cool that they're including a replica game box and instruction booklet with full color instruction booklet and map. Like, that's cool physical tangible product that can be, I guess, substituted for having the game on disc and a game box with a, poor quality box and, a reversible cover. The reversible cover is the new manual, so take those away, but give me all of this. And maybe that's a trade-off, or maybe that's a compromise as a physical media collector that maybe I'm okay with. I'm not saying I am, but maybe. So that's enough of that. Moving on. We just got a tweet from PlayStation. This actually happened right before I fired up the podcast. We had a tweet from PlayStation basically showing off the media remote for the PlayStation 5. And this was kind of interesting. I actually took some time and just looked at this photo, and I know the media remote, like, big whoop, but it's kind of nice. Like, if you guys have never had a media remote for your consoles, right now I'm feeling the burn because I'm using my Xbox One for my 4K Blu-ray stuff, and it sucks having this thing. And everybody's sold out right now on just everything. So, like, I haven't been able to get a media remote for my Xbox One, but I'm starting to see the value in having that media remote. If you just want to watch some Netflix or YouTube, like, it's a weekend, you're like, you've been gaming all week on stream with your homies, talking about me, and you want to just, like, kick back on a Sunday and watch anime. So it's really nice to have that media remote that you can just pick up, navigate through the menus, get to what you want to watch, and just click play. So I've had a newfound respect for media remotes the last couple of weeks. So this made me excited. Might not make you excited, but it makes me really, really excited. So couple things I wanted to mention just by studying the photo. They give us a nice up-close, high-res photo. I think it's still 3D rendered, but it's going to be really close to what it's actually going to be. And the design, first of all, just to kick it off, the design is a total riff off of the console design with the textures of the bottom part. The way it's textured is a lot like the side panels of the PS5, and it's got the black in the center with the white on the outsides. And this one also had a PlayStation logo kind of protruding, like, not like annoyingly protruding, but kind of protruding off of the top of the remote. So design, I think, is pretty nice. It goes with the console very, very well and would look very nice sitting next to the console and the controller. Another cool thing that I noticed with the remote itself is it has a microphone button, okay? On the top of it, near the power button, it actually has a microphone button. And I think a lot of people probably miss that, but I'm assuming that means that the microphone capabilities of the DualSense controller are going to be also implemented in the remote controller. So, for example, you want to fire up Netflix and check out the Castlevania anime, you don't have to go through with the remote and type in Castlevania. You can go into the search bar, press that microphone button, and say Castlevania and have it look it up for you. So I think the convenience factor of that is just through the roof and absolutely amazing. And I think there's going to be a lot of it's going to, like, make things simpler for people that are just, like, wanting to watch some Netflix, or maybe look something up on YouTube. Like, oh my God, you guys know how long our, things can be when we're, like, maybe trying to look up a tutorial how to open up the Nintendo Switch and fix it, or something like that. That's a lot to type in on your PS5. So this will make things a lot more streamlined and just convenient. So that's cool. And then also it's going to have a couple of these just quick start buttons, like app quick start buttons. A lot of remotes have these days. And it's going to have 4 different buttons. It's going to have a Spotify button, kind of a weird decision, but I get it. A Netflix button, a YouTube button, and a Disney Plus button. So I think those are pretty cool. Disney Plus is kind of an odd decision for just to me. I would still say that maybe Hulu was a little bigger, but Disney Plus is no slouch. I mean, people are loving that Mandalorian and all the different copyrights that, like, Disney has. I'm sure they have a buttload of value out of their Disney Plus app. So I guess it makes sense, and it kind of, future-proofs the remote as the streaming service continues to grow, because it is still relatively new. Disney Plus is. So I think great options and great choices as far as that goes. I did want to know, just because I like what the one major thing that I dislike about the PS5 is its lack of compatibility, or a very slim compatibility with the PS4's, like, for example, Media Remote, headphones, and their DualShock 4 controller. They're kind of trying to keep, make everyone invest again. If I had the Media Remote for the PS4 and I got a PS5, I may want to take my time. I mean, the microphone is very nice on the new Media Remote, but I may want to take my time in investing in all these accessories, because it's a huge upfront cost. You're looking at, upwards of $750 is, I think, a modest price tag for buying a system, maybe an extra controller, and a couple of games. That's a lot of money. So adding the Media Remote on top of that I'm sure is going to be pretty expensive as well. Maybe someone wants to hold off on that. And it would be nice to be able to use the PS4 Media Remote. But once again, we get, Sony and them wanting to basically force us into buying their new remote. There's really no other excuse for it. They don't allow you to do that, and Xbox One does. So, the Xbox does. So they basically tweeted out shortly after this tweet that the Xbox Series X and S will be compatible with the Xbox One Media Remotes. And I know that's kind of small, but it's kind of a nice little nugget. It's kind of a nice thing to know, that, Xbox is supporting their, even their media remotes from the previous generation, and Sony isn't. And that's no knock on this remote. I think this remote's going to be great. I think it's going to be worth the investment. But come on, Sony, I don't know. Just not going to rant about it. It's just kind of a little nugget I just wanted to throw in. So super excited. That's all good stuff. And I think that's going to be almost the last thing. We got one more thing to kind of talk about, and this one's really exciting. I found this out literally right before I started the podcast. ToeJam and Earl Custom Cartridge is currently up for auction on eBay. This one is really weird and really exciting. Sega actually tweeted out just about this, and it's a custom cartridge for the original ToeJam and Earl game for the Sega Genesis, and it's one of 5 cartridges. There's only 5 of these in existence. It's currently on eBay. It's kind of a fundraising sort of deal, and these were made by Mid 49, which is a film company. I'm not sure where they're based out of, but they do film projects and just different, I think smaller stuff, but also bigger things. They also make special effects stuff and things like that, digitally and physically. And this was part of basically a ToeJam and Earl movie pitch that they made, I'm assuming way back in the day. So they basically use this as kind of a prop. And it's a functional game, works on your Sega Genesis. Thing looks sick. It's an original elevator. Like, it does the animation and everything from the game. Looks awesome. And it comes with a stand. You can basically plug it in, put a couple AAA batteries in it, and fire it up. It does its little animation, and then you can also put it in the console, and it works with both. So it does its animation when you first power on the console. The little arrow kind of flips back and forth. It lights up and makes the same sound effect and stuff. It's so cool, guys. It's so cool. And then it does the same thing when you plug it into the stand. It's very high quality. It's made I think out of polished brass is what they said. And the stand is made out of ionized aluminum. So it's good quality little cartridge, and it's currently on eBay. Here's the bad news. It's currently bidding for over $3,000 is the current bid. At the time of this recording, we got about 15 hours left in the bid, but what a just weird thing. And I just wanted to note, guys, like, there are current like cartridges that were made for the original Nintendo that were highly limited and not released to the public, kind of like this cartridge. And what I'm talking about is the Nintendo World Championships. Those cartridges are insanely expensive. I'm talking thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, maybe more at this point, because they're so dang limited. I think this cartridge is more limited. Dude, it was a pitch for a movie that never got anything. It was literally, never got past the pitch part. And there was 1 in 5 made. Where are the other 4? I have no idea. So the rarity of this, it makes sense that it's 3K. I wouldn't doubt this getting closer to about 8 or 9 before it actually sells, which is way beyond anything I could afford. But oh my God, it would be so cool to get one of those. I would definitely make a video on it, and I'd be destroying that YouTube algorithm with it. But we'll have to, just maybe in another life. But finally, guys, we got the comment of the week.
Dude,
the comment of the week.
It's the comment of the week. It's the comment of the week.
And this one comes from James Troy. This was a comment on my previous week's podcast. And this is a bit of a, just kind of a, like, hey, let us know in the comments, James Troy. You let us know in the comments that you got the Game Pass Project xCloud to work on your iOS device. If you guys don't remember, last week I was talking about basically Phil Spencer saying we're gonna get xCloud on iOS, period. It's gonna happen. They have a browser solution, and he basically said, I found a way to use Stadia on iOS. That was his comment. And I want to know. I'm a hacker. I like to modify consoles. I like to do things that Nintendo doesn't like me to do, or whatever other company doesn't like me to do on my stuff that I traded legal tender for. Completely legally too, guys, not pirated games. But I like to mess around with my product and do fun stuff, like put GTA 3 on it. Completely open source version, reverse engineered version. I think that stuff is cool. So I want to know, James Troy, I'm calling you out, bro. How did you do it? Let me know in the comment section of this video how you did it. And once again, thank you so much for your comment. Looks like, from what I could tell, it was your first ever comment on my channel. So also wanted to just thank you for your comment, and thank you for doing it, and congratulations for getting comment of the week. But that's going to do it for this week's podcast, guys. If you got value out of this video, do me a big favor and smash like, as well as subscribe and turn notifications on so you can catch me every time I release a podcast. And I want to know from you guys, that's enough for me. I want to know from you now, what do you guys think about the PS5 Media Remote? Are you going to pick that thing up? Do you think the microphone is cool? Or do you just don't care about it at all? Consoles are for gaming only. Also, what do you think about the Fire Emblem Anniversary Edition? Are you bummed that there's no physical copy of the game? And lastly, guys, ToeJam and Earl Custom Cartridge. It's going for $3,000. Where do you think it's going to wind up? Let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. But until next time, guys, Luke from 8-Bit Plus signing out, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.